number 6, it's Isaiah Thomas. If Steve Nash can rack up 20 assists, even here tonight against the Bucks, sounds crazy, but he's done it before, he would pass Zeke.
Well, Professor Nash, if you would, if the NBA had a university, he'd be one of the teachers at that university and how to distribute the basketball, where players like to receive the basket, whether it's rolling to the cup for dunks or he does with Gortat, or the pick and pop with Channing Frye or Grant coming off screens. He always puts the ball right where guys need to have it to be most productive. And it's one thing to pass a guy a ball, but when you get to the rhythm and you pull right into your shot, it leads to that assist. And I don't think there's anybody in the history of the game that's taken more pride in being a selfless player than Steve Nash has. In the
two-man game with Lopez. Brockman keeping his eyes on Nash, along with Solomons. Nash trying to get into the lane. It was poked away by Jennings. This is
not injured.
The guy plays the game like Brian Urlacher of the Chicago Bears. What it looks like. Channing Frye, deep for 3, absolutely. Suns first points here from the foot turnover. Here comes Delfino, unable to finish.
Nice job by Grant Hill. Delfino thought he was going to take the charge, and Grant moved out of his way.
Frye, free for 3. Second big shot for Channing here in the first quarter. Yep. Both he and Brockman were right there at the rim. They'll give the 2 points to Larry Sanders.
Sanders is long around that basket. You got to move him away from the rim.
Frye for 3, hits his 3rd of this first quarter.
Nash get in here and get his offense going.
Pietrus tried to go backdoor. There's Delfino again.
Reading by Nash. You don't normally see that out of the Professor in the first part of the game. And there's, you see Brandon Jennings doing a little.
Comes in. They just signed Earl to a 10-day contract because of the injury to Andrew Bogut.
Yeah, you see that transition there off the score. They have a tough time against teams in half-court sets. They want to try to get out and get some. Right now, 1-for-1's not getting it done.
Milwaukee 12, Channing Frye 9. There's 5 minutes to go here in the first. Into the corner, it goes to Pietrus. First Suns player outside of Channing Frye to score here in the front for the bank shot, and cleared by Sanders.
I think Grant wanted to get that basketball into the basket, tries to hook himself to the foul line and get some contact.
And he's been quiet offensively ever since the 34 points he had in Indiana.
And I think Pietrus kind of got caught in that no man's land. Jennings got it back the second time.
Pietrus, but he just loves what Jared brings to the second unit as a stabilizer for this. Took 24 straight games where he nailed a 3. That ended in Boston, but he picks it up here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, he's done a nice job getting himself set. Every time he gets that basketball,
it's looking up ahead. Picked up by Doolin. Races right past him, darts through the lane, and now finds a wide open Grant Hill. Channing Frye stuffs it home. What a play by Channing Frye on the offensive glass.
There's down first points in the paint for the Phoenix Suns.
Frye has been sensational. 11 points for Phoenix. That tip stuff, putting him in double figures. He doesn't feel like he's a go-to guy offensively for this team anymore, like he was last year. He had the 55-point game in his 7th NBA contest. On the drive, Maggette. The penalty situation, so a couple of free throws for Jennings.
Look at Channing Frye. He works himself all the way from the three-point line, and that ball couldn't come off any better for that last foul. It looked like the ball got bounced off of Gortat's foot.
Couple summers ago and wound up 3rd in Rookie of the Year ballot last season.
Well, this guy is really a scorer. Inch over 300 pounds, given his size. I mean, it's nearly 3 times his body weight.
Yeah, so much fun to watch. Maggette from deep, just inside the 3-point line for Maggette.
Taking some pressure off Steve Nash. Steve Nash is loving this acquisition. He says, on nights that I don't have it going well, then have him play 3 or 4 more minutes per night. As you see Maggette let himself right down the lane again for a bucket.
Halftime. Aaron Brooks offline, picked up by Maggette. He was a member of the Golden State Warriors last season. Came over in a trade during the past summer. Floater by Earl Boykins.
Down. I like to see that. That was an 18-wheeler coming right down Wisconsin Boulevard.
Yeah, you knocked over Ray Nitschke. We're here in Packer country. There's another driving layup by Earl Boykins. He can. 6:16 to go until halftime. 4-point lead for the Bucks. They come up with the steal. It's Brandon Jennings racing the other way for the pair.
All these turnovers are killing the Suns right now.
What were the results throughout the game? Normal messaging rates apply. I guess we didn't put Wilt's 100-point game on there because that's pretty much untouchable. Fading shot by Larry Sanders. He has been very impressive here.
Working that ball right to the block and got exactly what they wanted.
Nash setting up Channing Frye, coming back in out of the timeout. Steve Nash registers another assist.
And fight on head fakes like that, but he thought with the shot clock winding down, Salmons was going to go up. And
He's had time to come back and fire.
Oh, Steve Nash with the blow-by right past B.Jennings.
Yeah, well, arms there, competing in all types of different type of scenarios with passing lanes where he couldn't lay it off to the big man.
Pass tip by Frye, forcing the turnover. He's done back on the floor, and everybody's looking for Frye, who has been free to fire here in the first half. Had you made it to the finals with that team, coached by George Carl. And we're wearing our pins, too, by the way. There's many coaches and broadcasters around the league. The driving layup by Randall, trying to get money and donations for cancer research for children. The lob feed intended for Frye. But it's a strong effort.
He took on both Lopez and Frye that time, and Tricky went to the offhand and knocked it a little floater right over the top of both of them.
Both teams being affected by concussions. Frye, who had that mild concussion, goes in for the layup.
He's really been the one spark for the Suns offensively on a consistent basis, mixing up the outside shot, the head fake there, and taking it to the basket. Will we hear something carrying with us and just clock him on the head
with the mallet?
Yeah.
3-point play for Frye.
Half and once here in the second, Grant's been knocked to the floor very hard.
You know, Scott Skiles' coach team will play a very physical brand of basketball. Coached for 3 seasons with the Suns. And Robin Lopez with his first hoop from the rebound of Pietrus. Sensational defense, as always, from Grant Hill. Nash, who had 7 of the Suns' 8 turnovers in the first half, and now Phoenix finds Frye for 3. Down it goes for Channing, and then a whistle and a foul.
The line for 1 free throw. That's a chance to get 4 points on this trip. Nice job by Grant, recognizing the hot shooter and early in this basketball game. And it started in the second quarter with that second group.
Nash whips it over to Pietrus, open for 3, got it! Pietrus and Frye filling it up from 3-point range, and the
basketball game, so nice to see him get on top. And now you can see everybody picking up their body language and the energy level. Look at another turnover for Steele.
12-0 run for the Suns. In fact, the really struggling Phoenix offensively for the Suns, coming off of an injury, along with John Salmons. He has been better here tonight. Grant Hill, dead center for Hill. That'll
situation here. The Suns have an opportunity to go right inside and giving up about 4 inches down there. Frye had.
Milwaukee has not scored in 4 minutes. Pietrus drains it from outside. 3-1 on the road trip. They have won 4 of their last 5 overall, 8 of 11. Nash. Grant Hill, pocket 3, down it goes for Grant. 19-0 run for the Phoenix Suns.
Maggette always puts his head down like a bull and goes to the basket, but he wasn't able to get there. And here's Steve Nash doing a good job selling that play, not really steering right at Grant Hill, but looking back to the middle like he's going to think almost blind-eyed and one-handed out to the corner for Hill to be able to get opportunity now.
First 11 seasons for Corey Maggette in the NBA, only 1 trip to the playoffs. That game was for Maggette, now a 9-point lead for Phoenix.
And the Nash watch now with 9 assists, so he's 10 behind as he pulls up for 3, knocking that one down. Drops down another shot for the Phoenix
road trip. Top rolls, Nash fires it over to Grant Hill. Pietrus back to Grant. Doesn't like shooting those threes as much, but he lines it up and knocks it down. Grant Hill looks over the Suns. 56%. They drilled 12 threes in that loss to the Celtics the other night. 3:15 to go here in the third. Maggette from 22 feet in the face of Grant Hill.
He's so tough to go all the way to the hole. You give him a little bit of room, and he does have some confidence still to pull up.
Breaking free along the baseline is Pietrus, set up.
Backcourt has really picked it up. They were struggling in that first half, 5 points between the 2 of them, and already they have 10 points in the quarter.
Milwaukee 12 of 13. Pietrus receiving this.
Yeah, that's one thing he hadn't done. He had those 13 boards. We talked about that on Wednesday. Did a nice job. And there he goes inside, gets himself a hard-fought basket. Another assist for the professor. I think all these teams are getting these super teams, these young players in their prime, all joining force. I can see that one being broken sooner than the 33-win team. That's a final. Stoudemire goes for 41. Anthony for 29 in the loss.
Like 41 and 29 for those two, and they still
we're going to go over to Oklahoma, right?
That's right, Norman, Oklahoma, to watch Oklahoma State. Inside of a minute to go here in the third. And a tremendous one for the Suns, Earl Boykins.
In around the defense, and Vroom uses those legs to get right to the front of the rim.
Pietrus was looking for Marcin Gortat, had his with the dish out to Keon Dooling. Full head of speed for Pietrus. Gets it over to Jared Dudley for the finishing touch, but wait. A delayed call on Pietrus.
Pietrus does a pretty good job laying this off. Let's see if he jumps in his way after he goes by. Well, maybe not. It seemed like he leaned his shoulders and got the contact. I thought he had front of Pietrus to get that call, but Pietrus seemed to be on top of that.
Boykins breaks free. Aaron Brooks. A couple of to Aaron Brooks.
Now fly out in that nasty weather across the lake, don't we?
We sure do. Aaron Brooks lost it. Full speed chase, trying to track down Earl Boykins, count the hoop. Aaron Brooks goes crashing into the cameraman off the pine. Bucks coming off a 2-point win here at home. That looked like a carry by Boykins, blocked by Akeem Ward, but now Alvin Gentry, he's got his quickness matched by Aaron Brooks. We got Jennings and Boykins both on the floor right now for Skiles and Milwaukee. 8:30 to go here in the fourth. Maggette, they dare him to shoot. Hakeem Ward step back, and that means trouble. Maggette,
he was not going to be stopped until he got to the front of the basket.
Focused right on. I've been watching the Suns and Nuggets starting at 8:30 p.m. You can check local listings for Fox Sports Arizona.
He can get some more assists to salt this game away, or maybe knock down a few more shots with the day off tomorrow. Not too bad from to log some extra minutes here in the fourth quarter with this game in hand. Look at that, another great pass, inside-out basketball, and Peach behind Isaiah Thomas.
And recognize the mismatch as Pietrus just abused Brandon Jennings, taking him all the way to the rim. Boykins comes back, tissue soft in the lane for Earl Boykins.
Yeah, between Boykins and Maggette, it's 30 points. We had another 6 from Dooley and 4 from the Red Baron. They got 30 points off their bench as well. So on their stride, both teams putting it in a hole a pretty good clip.
Now 12 assists for Steve Nash. That's a big difference between these two teams. A lot of one-on-one basketball right now for the Bucks. Maggette pumps it in. There will be an assist there for Earl Boykins.
That's assist on this road trip. And of course, we mentioned the 12 that he's got tonight.
Gets it over to Pietrus. Fumbled the pass a little bit and then drains the three. Absolutely for
IMB. 3, knocking down these shots.
15 points so far in the second half for Pietrus. Suns are up by 14.
And ball movement, some of the things that he provided along with that starting group in the third quarter.
And one for Pietrus. Beautifully designed inbounds play by
joining Frye in there. But this is a simple play right here. You just see the smaller play. You step right in front of him, the second smaller.
That was great too. You could see Alvin Gentry actually in the background of that replay pumping his fist. Unfortunately, he couldn't complete the three-point play. Pietrus, 20 points though. Starting tonight, Corey Maggette drills a three. Frye was there with a hand in the face.
Wins that battle. 20 points, 8 rebounds. Delfino, he did a nice job on the board. He had the 9 boards, but he put the Sun uniform being a defensive stopper. Well, he's doing on both sides of the basketball tonight.
There's that mismatch. Pietrus against Boykins, and then Pietrus hands it off to Marcin Gortat. and Jennings talk about Steve Nash, but first we'll take a look at Pietrus taking Boykins down into the torture chamber.
Throwing it that there, you get has been doing a fantastic job. And not only getting the points, you're getting a high number of field waiting hands. He'll take it for his 5th board.
Nash now starting to bleed the clock. Fade away. High arching shot. Down it goes for Steve Nash. That was a dazzling shot by
that one. I certainly can make a standstill jump shot. So we talk about those confidence boosters, all part of Alvin Gentry's master plan. Back comes Dooley once again.
They were teammates in Orlando, now here with the Suns as Pietrus finds Marcin.
Yeah, Pietrus been beneficiary, getting some good passes. He's got the 20 points. He said, let me go out and dish a little now. Too much class for that. Nice job by the Suns, though, after a porous first half. They come